Hello guys. So today I have come up with a unique strategy for all of you in order to board your flight for the NEET PG 2021. I know all of you are working hard and rather we are all together in this journey, and come what may, we will perform excellently. That means to the best of your abilities in upcoming exams. Especially I'll be talking with respect to the NEET PG 2021. Now, my discussion will be divided into two groups. One is, as I'm saying, that as you all are preparing from Jan or Feb, March, and who will be completing very closely 15th of September, or like many of you may be completing by 30th September. So we are taking the time because our vibe is always the landmark. So before the vibe, we are taking it that you people are completing your course, and now how to plan your revision. So that will be the first part. And the second part, those who are starting late and they want to try their luck even in this attempt. So don't lose hope. It's always better to have something than nothing. It's always good to try, and believe me, if you try earnestly in these 3 months, then definitely you'll be getting a good score in your NEET PG 2021. So let's get started. So now we are taking into consideration that you have roughly 3 months. Now actually you have more than 3 months, okay, 3 to 3.5. So I am taking a number of 100. Let's say that you have 100 days, because actually if you are completing your course by 15th of September or 20th of September or by late 30th of September, you have about 110 or 120 days. Okay, so let's keep those 10 to 20 days in spare, so that every time the things do not take place as we had planned. Okay, there are something others also which were planned for us, so not to worry. This happens with every person. So I am taking the 100 days plan, and in these 100 days we have to go with 3 revisions, which is the bare minimum. It is said, I have talked to so many of the toppers, I have seen their interviews, you must have also seen their interviews, I have talked to them personally, and after having a mind-boggling discussion with them, I have come to this conclusion that because many of the toppers have even done 4 revisions or 5 revisions, but let's say the minimum one. So 3 revisions are very good, and there is a great possibility of your recall in the exam if you are going with 3 revisions. Now everybody, if is not able to do the 3 revisions, and I will say even 2 is good, because quality of revision is always better. Quality is better than quantity. So if instead of doing 3 hasty revisions, you can also do the good 2 revisions. So that depends upon the individual person, but at large we are taking into consideration that you have completed your course till the September, and now you have good 100 days in your hand. Now these 100 days are like, they are a do or die situation. So if you have planned something about these 100 days, I will say stick to your plan. Okay, but if you do not have any plan, then I am very sure that you will be benefited with this plan, and if you will stick to this, you will be definitely rocking in your exam NEET 2021. So let's see how it is. So what we can do, because we have to do 3 revisions in these 100 days, I can divide these 100 days into 3 parts. Okay, so first part will be your 50 days. This will be your 50 days. Second part will be your 30 days and the third part is 20 days. So this comes to be about total 100 days. Now, what is the reason behind it? The reason is that as you go from first to second, second to third revision, the time that is required to revise that particular thing should be reduced. That is how you are making it sure that now you are more well versed with that subject and therefore the time should be converging. Second important thing, not only that you require same time to revise the same thing now with the each passing day you have to concentrate more on the high yield topics. So that means in every revision you don't have to start from A and go up to the Z. Alright, that is not the good plan for revision because everything will not be, it is not possible that you revise everything in the exam. Okay, so the first, when you are completing the course, you have to read everything that is being given in the notes or your textbook. Now from now on, you have to reduce your volume so that you are focusing more on the high yield topics, the volatile topics, your forgettables which have been asked in the previous exams, and this is the success behind a good strategy for any of the entrance exam. The problem is that some people are faring very well after reading the same notes and some people are not faring that much. The reason is that they don't have a plan. They don't have a good strategy. So if you have a good strategy, the same resource will give you more rewards. You should know how to use those resources. If you remember, I had even shared one thought with you that no matter how many resources you have, none of them will be sufficient or enough if you are not using them properly, if you do not have a plan for using them. So that is very, very important. So what we are going to do for those people who have completed their course by 15th to 30th September, we'll first be discussing about them. So let's go with the first revision. Now first revision is your 50 days. So how to plan up your 19 subjects along with your MCQs, how to manage your GTs in these 50 days. Now I will not spoon feed you. I will not say do anatomy for 2 days, do physiology for 3 days, do gynae for 6 days. No. You all are doctors, you all are mature. Okay, so there is no use of telling because you know everybody's need is different. Maybe you require more time for orthopedics because when you were completing your course, orthopedics was not completed at that time and you had left that. So you will, you know better. You are your best judge that how many days you should give to that particular subject. But I will give you a guide. You should do the theory as per the weightage of that subject. So this I am telling so that you have a balance in your mind, you have this guide in your mind that how much amount of time you should ideally give. So how much time you should ideally give? We all know that NEET contains 300 MCQs. Yes? And what is the time that you will be getting? You will be getting 3.5 hours for doing these 300 MCQs. Now, this paper is divided into 3 sections. We have section A, section B and section C. Section A contains 50 questions. Section B contains 100 questions. And the section C contains 150 questions. Now, A section contains the anatomy, physiology and biochem. That is your first year subjects. Then the section B contains the second year subjects along with your CPSM, Community Medicine, and then we have section 3, which contains all the clinical subjects. Now, can you see there is a clear-cut indication that your first year and second year, that is your preclinical and paraclinical together, is as much importance than the clinical alone. So obviously you have to give more weightage to the clinical questions, clinical scenarios. And have you seen the pattern of your NEET 2020? I would say that is the greatest guide. They have shown that they will be asking even the preclinical and paraclinical subjects in the clinical form. They won't ask you anatomy, they will ask you clinical anatomy, clinical physiology, clinical biochemistry, clinical pathology. So what is this now? So that means you have to learn these subjects integrating with your clinical scenarios. So how can you read the microbiology integrating with the medicine? How can you read pathology integrating with the medicine? How will you read the ophthalmology related, integrating all these subjects? Well, I have shown you so many times. I have shared about 20 clinical scenarios, and I'll be sharing more and more so that you are well versed. You do not get tense or anxious on seeing those clinical scenarios, how to go about those questions, how much time you should give, how should you approach those questions. So my main purpose of actually sharing daily clinical scenarios is letting you pass that feeling of clinical scenarios on daily basis, so that you do not feel a alien kind of a feeling when you see those questions. Because you know what happens when you see these questions for the first time in the exam, then you do not know how to start, and in this thought process much of the time is wasted. And that happened with so many of the students in your NEET 2020. They were knowing the things, but the time falls short. Similarly, this happened with the FMG students also recently in their August exam. So there were so many questions, and I personally talked to them. They said that, ma'am, we were knowing the things, but we could not actually manage the time because we took more time for reading those questions, then comprehending, then seeing the options, then going back to the question and then doing it. So basically you should have a very good practice of doing these clinical scenarios, and I will definitely recommend that daily go to through my videos and take that daily dose of clinical scenarios. Do one question daily. That is just like a challenge, and put a stopwatch in front of you so that you know that how much time you were taking before to go through that question and how much is the improvement in you. So that is the daily dose which is at most required. Everybody is reading the same notes, but it depends upon you how you are applying that knowledge. Now on, it is not only a matter of your content and volume, it is also a matter of application. It is how you apply those things, that knowledge, those theory things that you have to the practical things. Okay, and you know, we can apply those things in a perfect manner only when we have a well-versed concept around it. So the thing is that you have to be very conceptual. You should be very well-versed for your theory. So for that, stick to your notes, revise your notes. Notes and notes is the key to the success. And this I am not telling you just on the data based. I'm telling you after consulting so many of the students who have acquired great ranks. So stick to your notes. Now your notes making process is completed. Okay, so I will say that till now, whatever notes you have prepared, okay, with our classes or whatever was your source from the videos, the online platform or anything, from now on, don't add anything, okay, don't read anything new, don't add any extra information in your notes, because that is a greatest setback in your preparation. The greed of acquiring more will take you towards the back foot. So whatever information you have, believe me, from whichever platform you have taken, every faculty and every platform is doing very well and they're trying maximum to give you the maximum knowledge. So now you have to stick to your notes and revise them as thoroughly, as many times as it is possible, so that you are able to recall. The problem is not of the content, the problem is of recall, and recall may anything that can help you is revision, and revision, notes, and notes, right? Okay. Second important thing is highlight the important points for your second revision. Now, when you are doing the first revision, what you have to do, you have to keep on highlighting those things which you have to revise for the second revision. You don't have to go through all the notes in your second revision. Now your question is, ma'am, how will I come to know that which things I should highlight and which thing I should left? Because I have seen even the notebooks of so many students, whole of the notebook is highlighted. Now how will you come to know that which things to pick up for the second revision and which to left? So the three guides are: number one, every faculty, when he or she teaches you that subject, always keep on telling you that look, this is important, this is high yield, this was asked in these previous year exams, or any other reason. So that things should be highlighted, number one. Number two, which have been asked in frequently in your previous year exams. You are solving the MCQs and you are seeing that there are so many questions, or in the Q banks it is there, or in the GTs repeatedly you are getting those questions, or from any other source you are getting that this has been repeatedly asked. Number three, now this will be different for everyone. This is your volatile topics or your forgettables. Those many things which you feel is volatile, that you tend to forget again and again, needs continuous revision, or which is a forgettable for you as a person, because you know somebody finds remembering the incubation periods difficult, somebody may find remembering the IPC sections difficult, somebody may find certain signs in ophthalmology to remember difficult, like it can be anything depending upon you. So you have to mark now these three things. Okay, now coming to the MCQs. Now, I am taking for granted that when you were completing your course, you must have done at least some of the MCQs. Now, maximum people must have done even whole of the MCQs, because I am saying this with confidence because I get so many queries from you people that while solving this Q bank, we tend to stuck at that. We do not know this, how to do this, how to approach this question. So I know, and then we are doing the daily quizzes. So from that also you know that what are your difficult MCQs. So whenever you do the MCQs, if you remember, I told you a technique to do the MCQs. Mark these MCQs in three categories: the A category, the B category and the C category. What is A category? A category is your easy questions that you could have solved just by seeing. Okay, so you even don't have to see your notes twice to solve these questions, was your A category. B questions in which you were having some doubt or dilemma, and C category were the difficult question. You were not able to do it even after reviewing your notes or your source. Okay, so those B and C questions have to be bookmarked, and when you do the revision, you have to go through these questions again. Now, what will you do when you are going through these questions? You have B category and C category. Now, first we will take the B category, which were having some doubt. Means you know that you have read this topic is there in your notes, but you are not able to approach this question. Now, the reason may be either the sufficient information is not there in your notes, or it may be your concept is not cleared. So try to grasp that concept if the concept is not cleared, or if you feel like that particular information is lacking from your notes, it's not there in your notes, then you can add up only that information. Now here I will say you have to restrict yourself. Just add that much information that was required to solve that question and that was not there in your notes. Okay, don't add much extra information now, because it will become difficult for you people to recall it in the exam. Okay, then there was a C. Now this C was a difficult kind of a question. You know, some questions are difficult, and even when whole of the information is actually there in your notes, the application is actually difficult. So what you have to do now, you have to read that topic thoroughly again and again. You can take the help of any faculty. Nowadays, like I am helping you on the Telegram group with daily questions and daily quizzes. So you can take the help of the faculty, or you can take the help of some textbook that you are thorough, or you can take the help of a colleague. Anybody you can take help. We all are more than happy to help you people and get sorted. Okay, now those questions of the B category which you were able to solve and convert them into A category, the easy category, will be now cut down. Now for the second revision, you will be left with two group of MCQs. One of those B category questions which you were not able to do even after reviewing, and again your C category one which require one more revision next time. Next we come to the grand test or GTs. Now I will say that we have talked so many times that giving grand tests means giving test is of utmost importance. Don't wait for the D-Day when all your subjects will be completed and I have done everything, then only I will give the test, because that day will never come. Take my words, that day will never come. Do you remember any of your exam before which your whole of the syllabus was finished? No, syllabi are so vast, and it's very hard to say that now I have completed everything, because when you start from the first and by the time you reach to the 19th, you are pretty unsure about the first one. So don't wait for the final thing, okay? Start giving tests, because these grand tests will not only help you as a testing tool, they will also be helping you as a learning tool. They will also help you acquire the knowledge about those important topics that you were not able to comprehend just from the theory. See, everything we are not able to teach through theory, because there is a limitation up to which we have to teach you in the theory. Like for example, if I take my subject in ophthalmology, now you know there are certain, even when I am teaching you astigmatism, I will have to restrict my description up to the regular and only basics of irregular, because then it is going to the scope of postgraduates. So now what can be done, I can give you the questions related to it, so that you are able to learn the astigmatism in such a way that we are doing the questions of regular astigmatism and we are able to separate it from irregular astigmatism. So obviously there is a limit up to which We can teach you the theory. There is no end, and you have to complete your 19 subjects. So you have to learn solving the question by the diagnosis of exclusion also. You don't have to be an encyclopedia knowing everything about the 19 subjects. You have to acquire a skill solving the questions of all the 19 subjects based on the knowledge that has been imparted to you or you have gained through self-studying from the textbook, from the notes or any other source, so that without difficulty you are able to integrate all the subjects and solve the question. So what I always tell you in the classes also, that for solving a particular MCQ, there is no need always that you have to know everything about that topic. You can even solve the MCQ without acquiring every knowledge about that topic, only just on the facts that you already know of the 4 options that are given in the topic. So how frequently? Now this is a very frequent question which I receive on my Telegram groups or Facebook page or Facebook groups, that how frequently should I give the test? How frequently? Now I will say again, there is no one answer to this question, but I will say minimum. So at this point you should give minimum of 2 tests in 1 month, so that you can plan one after 15 days. The reason is that you can give frequently also, more frequently also. I can say that give every week, but then you should be able to review your GTs also. So reviewing your test is more important than actually giving it. Or in other words, I can say that if you are not able to review your test, then it's a waste of time. Then you have not gained anything giving that test. So if you are sure that you can actually review your test, giving every 10 days also, giving every 7 days also, then you can even give it more frequently also. But bare minimum, at an average, I will say it's a good idea to give 2 tests in a month. You can choose your day, maybe the Saturday, Sunday. So one Saturday you will give the exam, and Sunday, whole of the Sunday you can keep for reviewing it. So what do you mean by reviewing? So what you will do, take the test paper and make a logbook or a notebook along with it. Write the GT number 1. Now out of the 300 questions, first you have to see how many questions you have already read. Means how many questions are there from those topics that were prepared or covered by you, because those topics which are not covered by you, you are not going to be affected by that score. Okay, now sometimes it can be overlapping. You can be wrong in those questions which you have already read, and you could be right in those questions from the topics that you have not covered. So slight up and down can be there. Now suppose you were knowing the topics were 200 marks. Okay, so now you will have to review your test paper out of those 200 marks. Now I am not worried about those topics which you did wrong, which came from those topics which you had not covered. I am worried about those questions which you had read and still your question went wrong. Now it's a high time to review those topics. What went wrong? Did you forget that information? Was the concept not cleared? Was this very information not present in your notes, or any other thing? So if you are committing a mistake in those topics which is present in your notes, you had also read them, then I would say this is a time for pondering your mistake, and definitely you should go back and read that topic, add on that extra information which is not present there, clear your concept by taking the help of a faculty, your friend or any other person. So that is the right way of giving the GT, and this helps us to make a strength weakness analysis. So definitely you will have to make a strength weakness analysis. This is important so that your strengths become more and more strengthier and your weakness become less and whole of the weakness could be converted into your strength. That is very, very important. Now, make a diary. This is again very important. Make a diary and note down what are the most frequent mistakes that you are giving in the test, because that test is just like giving you a simulating environment with the main test. The number of students who are appearing in these tests, the ranking, everything is same. So give these tests as if you are giving the main test. Face that anxiety so that you can give the main exam in such a way as if you are giving just a grand test. So the whole purpose of doing lot of hard work in creating these tests and asking you again and again, give test is that only. And then you can also note those things which are very, very volatile, which are have high risk of forgetting, and then your own forgettables. I will say definitely make a logbook of it so that at the last minute you know that I have to definitely go through these things because there are high chances of getting the questions from this, or they are very, very volatile, or it is your forgettable. Now, another important question that I get repeatedly: how much time I should give to see the videos, how much time I should give to read the theory, and how much time I should give for doing the MCQs. How to adjust how to adjust your time, because time is limited, so you have to actually utilize the time. Utilization of the time is again a very, very important limiting factor which will decide that how you are going to perform in the exam. So I will say that in your first revision you have to give more stress in your theory, because you have just completed your course once. Now in order to grasp a hold over your theory, in order to have a sound knowledge of that theory, give 70% of the time to the theory and invest 30% of the time to the MCQs. Now suppose you are reading 10 hours. Let's take an example, like it may vary, but minimum I am taking 10 hours. So what you can do, 7 hours you can keep it for reading your notes and 3 hours for doing the MCQs. Now which 3 hours? Now again it's your personal choice. You can keep these 3 hours in the morning for doing MCQs, you can keep these 3 hours in the evening for doing MCQs, or what I feel, you can again divide this into 3 parts, okay, 1 hour, 1 hour and 1 hour. So daily in the morning you can do 1 hour MCQs, then start doing your theory, then in the lunch time do 1 hour MCQs, second, then do your theory, and before going to bed again keep 1 hour for doing the MCQs. Now why I am saying this? The reason is that doing the MCQs is tiring and brainstorming. And sometimes what happens that you do not know actually that how much time you are effectively putting up in studying. You feel that you are studying, sitting in front of your notes, but actually you people are not studying. So this is a very, very important landmark and a planner which will tell you that how much are you studying. So in the morning, if you are doing suppose 50 MCQs or 100 MCQs, you have to improve your speed. So you will get to know, okay, do the MCQs by a stopwatch, see how many MCQs I have done today in 1 hour, try to improve the speed, okay, see what are the problems in those areas. So when you read the theory, now you can improve upon. Then again take a different topic in the, I am talking about the subtopics, okay. I'll be telling you afterwards that how to divide which subject to read there, okay. Then in the lunch time, suppose you are reading the cataract, then try to do the MCQs of that cataract and review what have been wrong in your that particular topic, and in the night before going to bed. Now why I'm saying that do 1 hour MCQs before going to the bed, what happens when you rise up in the morning, wake up in the morning, your energy is very high and you are able to do the things. But by the time you are reaching the late evening and it's night, our energy becomes low and it becomes really difficult to stretch up ourselves to that time that we had decided to study. So at that moment, instead of reading the theory, which is half going outside and half going inside your mind, you can do the MCQs, which will be giving you the satisfaction that you had studied. It has effective utilization of your time, and okay, and you don't have to worry that if you are losing an important thing in that theory. So keep the lightest MCQs or the lightest topic before going to the bed, so that your goal is completed for the day. Make small goals. Make the goal of every day, and if possible divide that goal even into 3 parts. What is your morning goal, morning target, lunchtime target, and the evening target? You know, this is a very important thing called as a Pomodoro Technique, and this was invented by the Japanese people, which says that divide your goal or target in a very small piece of work. It should be so small that you are having no hesitation to do it. So if you are making a very large goal, what is happening? Procrastination is very easy there and very common. So what you are doing for the day, now I have already made a timetable. Now I don't have to think about whole of the 19 subjects. I don't have to think whole of that subject. I don't have to think about what will happen in the last. I am just thinking about today, what I am going to cover today, and that also in the morning I will think only of that morning target. In the lunchtime I will think about that afternoon target, and in the evening I will think about those and start putting the ticks. Now more and more ticks will give you more and more confidence, and confidence is again very much required. Self-confidence, self-motivation. Now don't rely on someone to motivate you. Be your own motivator. Be your. That does not mean that I will stop motivating you. My daily dose of motivation will be right there with you daily, but if you are already motivated, my daily dose will act as a booster. Okay, so be motivated with yourself. I will do it definitely, and then when my motivation will come, that will be acting as a booster. So daily you require lunch, daily you require breakfast, daily you require tea or coffee. So similarly you daily require the motivation, because I get these messages, ma'am, you motivated us, we were like motivated for 1 day, 2 day, for a week or a month, and then again we are feeling low. Why do you expect to keep that motivation dose to make you motivated throughout the year? You require those motivational boosters every day, and that is why unfailingly I tend to motivate you daily. So you have to motivate yourself also. Responsibility is yours also. We have a combined responsibility. So make your mood elated. Every day when you wake up, stand in front of the mirror and talk to yourself and promise this to yourself, that today I will do even better than yesterday. If I was not able to complete, suppose you had made a target of 250 MCQs or 300 MCQs yesterday, I'll cover up that today, and today I will be meeting a better person than myself. I'll be making a healthier person in terms of the studies. I'll be a modified version. Be a modified version of yourself every day. I will improve. Take a piece of paper, write I will improve, and put it on the mirror right in front of you, and every day when you wake up, see there, I will improve. Say this to yourself. Then stick to your schedule. Now, whatever schedule I am giving you will definitely help you, but I will say that if you have some own timetable, your own schedule, then I will say stick to your plans. Nobody knows better than you that what should you study, how should you study, how many days you have to give for a particular subject, how many MCQs you should do. You are the best judge. So if you have a plan, then stick to that only. Now we come to the second revision. Now in the second revision, we are taking the goal of 30 days. How to utilize these 30 days to the best of your abilities and to get best of the results. So now you have already prepared for these 30 days in your previous 50 days. So you have already cooked up your meal. Now you have to eat it. So only the highlighted things that you had highlighted for the review, which were asked frequently, which you tend to forget easily, which were highly volatile, now you have to revise only that. Mind you, don't fall on the trap that I will revise everything. You will end up in a trouble. You will definitely end up in a trouble if you start going through everything. Okay, because you know, concepts are something, they settle in your mind and they do not require revision again and again. Only the fact based data, the volatile data tends to get forgettable, and you have to revise only that again and again. Now your GTs from 15 days interval, now I have reduced it to 10 days interval. Now you have to give your test more and more frequently. So you were giving the test every 2 weeks, 2 tests in a month. Now you have to give the test every 10 days. So that tends to be about 3 tests in a month. Now again you have to do the same strength weakness analysis I told you and work more and more on your weaknesses. Now what you have to do, how much time you have to do the MCQs, how much time you have to see the videos or read your notes. Now you have to go to 50-50 from 70-30 ratio. Now suppose again I am taking the minimum time, the 10 hours. So now you have to do 5 hours theory and 5 hours MCQs. Why I am dividing your time now 50-50? You have to concentrate now more and more on the questions. That will give you a sound knowledge of your theory. You can analyze yourself, you can do the self-assessment, how much do you know that topic, and that will also help you understanding a new, sphere of that topic. Yeah, it could be asked like this also. It means your dimensions are opened up. So you have to do more and more MCQs, that is for sure. Then revise your notes very effectively and keep on working on your mistakes. That is the biggest asset. If you keep on working on your mistakes, mistakes will rectify, and keep on converting these mistakes into your strength. Okay. Now coming to the third revision, your golden 20 days before the exam, when you must be feeling now more confident. You have completed your course once, you have completed your revision twice, you have done so many MCQs, you have given so many tests also. Okay, how many tests you have given? At least 5 tests we have given, 2 in your 50 days, okay, that plan, 2 to 3, and then 2 to 3 you have given in your second revision also. So at least 5 I am taking, at least 5 GTs you have given, 5 into 300, 1500 MCQs you have done, you have seen your mistakes, you have worked on them. So I think that motivation you will get from your improvement day by day. Believe me, give 1 GT in the same manner as I am telling you, and you will see your improvement, and that improvement will motivate yourself. You will get the motivation to improve and give more and more GTs. Okay, now what you have to do? previous year exams, previous year's MCQs. That is one thing which will be a blunder. Now see, there are three things that you have to do for the exam. One is whole. You have to do everything, read everything from the textbook, from your notes that you do when you are doing the course, completing your course for the first time. Then the second go, you are doing the highlighted things, things to be reviewed, bookmark things which were done or which were volatiles which you tend to forget. Now in the third go, you have to do those things leaving which is a blunder, which you cannot afford to leave, and that is your previous year MCQs. There is a very high chance of these topics to be repeated. I am repeating, there is a very high chance for these topics to be repeated. So it is the topics that will be repeated, and don't expect them to give you the same question lifted from any other place and giving you. And that is the biggest mistake that the students do. They take it for granted that if a similar question came next year in front of you, it must be that same question that you had read. No. Even by twisting and changing one word from that question, answer could have changed. So don't rely on examiners. See yourself. They must have done some trick. So you have to believe that the topics will be repeated, and there is the favorite of every examiner. You know, there is a fixed pattern, like AIMS people tend to ask these topics more, NEMANS people tend to ask these topics more, JIPMER people tends to ask these topics more, and basically we believe that the NEET paper is much a more balanced paper. They are not tilted towards one particular topic only. So it is at most important that you are doing thoroughly all these previous year MCQs. How much previous year now? Don't go much beyond. I will say 5-year AIMS paper and 2-year NEET or 3-year NEET is more than sufficient. Similarly, for the PGI, JIPMER and NEMANS, 2 to 3 year is more than sufficient, because going much beyond than this won't help as the pattern keeps on changing. Now, if you compare your NEET 2019 paper and NEET 2020 paper, they were way different. So I will say that don't waste your time in doing your 10 years paper. There are so many guides in the market saying that previous 10 years paper. So there is no use, I will say, that doing the previous 10 years paper. The recent papers are a must and you should focus on them. Now, giving the test more and more frequently, give the GTs every week. Now, we started every 15 days, then we moved every 10 days, and now we are going every week. So spare the time now. It is the time to focus on more of the tests. Give the GTs every week. Give a good time for the strength weakness analysis. Review your mistakes. Try to see where did you committed the mistakes. Now you know everything you have already covered. In your first completion, you have done these 2 revisions. So those topics which were not covered in your first completion, you must have seen and gone through them in your first and second revision. So most of the topics are now known to you, and you know that where you are weak, where you are committing mistake, keep on noting them. Now, one important thing. When you are giving the GTs, the biggest fear or a limiting factor which actually stops you in giving the GTs is that the comparison with your colleagues. He has got this much, I have got this much. Don't compare at this moment. These ranks are not for lowering your morale or keeping your morale down. This is for your improvement. So don't compare your score with the other one. Compare your score with yours one only. Keep on improving your GT scores. Keep on working on your mistakes. Make a note that GT this much, I had got this score, then on the next I had got improvement by 10 marks, then next 20, 30 and this way. So your competitor should be you yourself. Don't compare your scores with anyone, because this will help you in going down. This will keep your morale down, and next time you won't feel motivated to give the test even. So don't talk about what are your scores, don't discuss these things, okay? Keep on working hard. It is said that you should always work hard in silence. Let your success speak. So keep on working on your GTs, keep on working hard, and success will definitely make noise, and you will be here to give your interviews, right? So now the mock test. As you are going through your final revision, give the mock test, because again I will say that this will help you in relieving your anxiety, apprehension. You will have more comfort level giving the exam, and give the mock test in such a way as if you are giving the final exam, so that you can give the final exam without any tension, as if you are just giving a regular test. So keep that thing in mind. Now you have to concentrate more and more on MCQs and just reverse your ratio. Keep only 30% for your theory, and 70% of the time you have to do the MCQs. This will give you more confidence for trying for the MCQs, for doing the MCQs. This will give you more skill to solve your MCQs. This will give you more confidence that you are able to solve the MCQs. This will give you a confidence and a sense of completion that you have covered so many things. Then in the meantime, if you have given the AIMS paper, and even if you have not given the AIMS paper, try to do the AIMS MCQs also, because again there is a very high chance of those questions or those topics which was asked in the AIMS paper to be repeated in your NEET paper. So always solve the AIMS paper also. Now the strategy for those people who have just started. So don't lose your hope, and I would say that something is better than nothing. Believe in yourself and start doing the hard work. Don't think of the previous months which have gone. Gone is gone, it can't come back. But save your present, and that will help you in getting your future. So what you are going to do, you can follow our LMRP program also, that is beautifully designed by all the faculties, covering all the high yield points. Or if you have your own made notes, or if you have any other source which is giving you the high yield points, so that now in the limited time you are just focusing on the most high yield topics. So this program is of 300 hours, 250 to 300 hours. So I am taking it to be 300 hours, okay? And again we can do the 3 revisions. We can plan 3 times revision in the same manner as we had planned for those people who had started early. So what we are doing, we have again divided it into first month, second month and third month. Now you people will be having a little lesser time to revise, okay, because we have not gone through the subject ones. So what we can do, in the first month we will replace that time which has been already been done by those people who had started early. They had done the one time completion. So you have to read 10 hours daily. Now when I am saying that you have to read 10 hours daily, that 10 hours is the effective time that you are reading, and not just sitting in front of the chair, okay. So if you read effectively, thoroughly, daily 10 hours, that effective study, so you can cover these 300 hours very comfortably in just 30 days. Yes or no? So daily you can read 10 hours and go through all the important topics in just 30 days, 1 month, you are done. You can complete the course, you can come edge to edge with these people, because why I am saying, always follow the 80-20 principle. 80% of the time, the questions are asked from those 20% of the topics which are most high yield. So we are following here the 80-20 principle. Of course, we may have a little edge lesser than those people who have started early, but again I will say, believe in yourself. That is the key to success. So you have to complete the course, you have grasped the concepts, you have completed your high yield topics, and then we can plan for the same 2 revisions that the other people I had told. The second revision, again you have to go through it, and when you plan for the third revision, you will feel more and more comfortable, more and more confident. So you have to follow again the Pomodoro technique. Divide your work in very small pieces. Okay, if you have to study 10 hours per day and you are feeling that I am not able to study or concentrate, don't think about those 10 hours. Think of just that 1 hour that you are studying and think that I'll study for this 1 hour very effectively in an isolated room, and I will not remember anything in that. So then you will say that you will get your maximum efficiency after the end of this 1 hour. Then you can do the active recall method. Stand in front of the mirror and start teaching yourself. This is the best way and the finest way of revision, teaching yourself. Another important thing is go by the discipline, that I have to study this hour come what may, and don't depend upon your mood. Okay, mood may say yes or no, but discipline means discipline, and always study at an isolated place. Okay, you should not be reachable. Keep your phones on the flight mode. Keep everything switched off and now study so that you are all set for that. Now we are coming to the last week, your golden week. Now revise your forgettables, concentrate on previous papers, ponder your mistakes, where you were doing the mistakes again and again, and then I will say definitely go through your why booklet. That is a golden book. More and more images are being asked, and that has been beautifully designed, covering all the 19 subjects in just few hours and few days. So you have to go through your vibe booklet definitely before going to the final exam. So there are certain important things that you should remember and keep on telling yourself every day. Be positive. There is no elevator to success. If you want success, you have to do the hard work. And if you do the hard work, success is the only option. So don't leave any option, just do the hard work and success will be yours. Believe in yourself. That is the first thing. Getting the elevator or a ladder to success, the first thing is you have to believe it in yourself that you will definitely do it. तेरी किस्मत दा लिखिया तेरे को कोई नहीं दे सकता. What is written in your fortune, nobody can snatch it from you. जो उसदी मेहर होवे तो तेनू वो मिल जावे जो तेरा हो नहीं सकता. But if you are doing lot of hard work, then your fortune will give you even those things which you never expected to be in your life. So I wish you all the very best. Best of luck, and we are there for you in your journey to success. Thank you and happy ophthalmology.